All right, we are back with another Pick'em video, and we got Friday night football for college, a few games to talk about, some stacking opportunities, and ultimately going to bring you guys some plays on PrizePicks, a decent amount of plays, probably 5 or 6 plays, and I've got a little bit of baseball to talk about as well. So going to give you guys the best plays that I am seeing right now on the board, talk about some other apps with some great value going on as well, and it's going to be a great talking point because specifically yesterday we had a PrizePicks slip that I talked about, but also some discounts over on some other apps, and we were able to capitalize that in the Discord just yesterday. So I'll point that out as well and give you all the information on that as well. But let's just jump into the board. But real quick, I do want to jump over to our PrizePicks slip from yesterday, talk about it real quick, and go through that. But if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe, leave the video a like, comment something down below. We're about daily content like this on most days, and just going to try to continue to do that as sports continue to pile up. Basketball right around the corner, kind of my bread and butter. So we're in the best time of the year to sports bet. Ton of different stuff going on. You know, hockey's gonna be starting too. We're gonna have baseball, hockey, WNBA playoffs, all different types of things, and that's where we make a lot of our money. So definitely join the community. Subscribe if you are new. All the links in the description. Check those out, and let's look over the play from yesterday. Okay, so jumping into the desktop screen here, we thought the Patriots weren't going to do a ton. They did less than that. They literally did absolutely nothing. Stevenson was the only Patriot we went to. I remember I didn't love this line. I kind of wanted to go to his rushing yards, but he didn't even do that. They struggle on offense completely against this team, against really most teams. But didn't even see Stevenson do anything, and he was kind of the bright spot of their offense throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. But then moving on the Jets side of things, we had a pretty good read. Aaron Rodgers goes for about 300 yards. Mike Williams got involved a little bit more. I think he had 3 receptions, a deeper one later on in that game. And then Garrett Wilson, I'm not kicking myself too hard about this one. He didn't really need to do as much as he would like to. Aaron Rodgers was as good at spreading the wealth, and he did that last night. You saw Conklin go for 95 yards or whatever that was. Lazard was kind of in the action early on in that game, and Wilson was early action as well. Just kind of fell off there in the middle of the game, and then a few receptions late in that game as well. So I'm not kicking myself too hard. That Garrett Wilson line was something we really liked and something we were able to go to on a different slip. So again, we lost on PrizePicks yesterday, but we won over on Betr, hitting a 10x. We went for Wilson's discounted line at 4.5 receptions. He was able to get that. Mike Williams, we had the longest catch. He hit that later on in that game. And then we had some other plays here. We went for Gibson, his rushing yards at 21. He also got that pretty late in the game, ended with 29. And then a few Astros here. Pena to get a single. He got that early. And Tucker to get walked. He also got that early. So I'm not very specific to one sport. Honestly, my best slips are usually multi-sport slips. Whether it's football, it might be the best value in the day. Baseball might be the best value of the day, but honestly, taking the best baseball slips, the best football slips, the best WNBA slips of the day, and putting that into one slip, that's kind of where you can find some really good gems of slips. So like multi-sport slip here, and then another multi-sport slip here, Aaron Rodgers over his 0.5 passing yards line over on Chalkboard, and we were able to obviously get that. And then a few Phillies for us. Stott stayed under for us, and Walker got lit up over 2.5 earned runs. How about 8 on them? So some good reads over there. We took advantage of the discounts. We always want to take advantage of the discounts. If there's a discount on Underdog, you better believe I'm playing on Underdog that day and taking advantage of it. Yesterday, there was a ton of discounts. I pointed them out to you guys in the videos. You can use my codes at any time to sign up for these. This was Chalkboard. Chalkboard's awesome. Betr has crazy value. Again, discounts yesterday. They have discounts a lot. And just another time to preach that it's not just PrizePicks. I know you guys like the videos on PrizePicks. I like PrizePicks. I play it all day, every single day. But sometimes when there's value in these other sites, that's where you're going to make that money. So we had a nice 7 or 8 unit day yesterday because of these other apps, even though we lost on PrizePicks. So that was the recap of what we did yesterday. Going to try to win, of course, today, and bring you guys my 5 or 6 best bets on PrizePicks. If you find some value elsewhere or on a different site, you can use them over there as well. And let's just go into the board on PrizePicks, see what we got going. Okay, so jumping into the PrizePicks board here, I'm going with Syracuse as my first little stack. I do have another stack as well, some other college football plays, and then some baseball plays. There are some earlier baseball games, I think maybe only one, but this is going to be obviously a later slate game, so you should have plenty of time to try to tail that. But let's go to Kyle McCord, and I'm going with Pena here. A few options, we'll break that down in a second, but let's start with Kyle McCord, over 298.5 passing yards. In terms of market value, where does everyone else have this line? Jumping over to DG Fantasy, awesome app for market value lines. You get to see, okay, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, Underdog, all these different places, they're right around the same line. You're never going to see a huge discrepancy here, and if you do, you definitely want to take advantage of it. But 298.5 on PrizePicks, pretty much consensus, 300 over on Underdog, so good to see that some books are thinking a little bit higher. Hot streak as well at 299. So pretty 50-50 market value, but he has been killing it this year. 350 yards in game one, where they won by, looks like 16 points. And then they creeped out a win last week against Georgia Tech. They won by 3, but he went for 381 yards. This is an 8.5-point spread in favor of Syracuse, so they should be able to control the game, win a game again. They've won the first 2 games, and he's soared over this line. And dating back to last year, Stanford's given up 118th ranked in terms of passing yards allowed, 278.5 passing yards. So for a guy that's been crushing it this year and a team that seems to be giving up a decent amount of passing yards, at least dating back to last year and a little bit of this year so far, with the data we have so far, looking pretty good to go with a guy like Kyle McCord, who has just looked great. A guy that's gone over in both games, and I don't mind seeing the matchup at all here. So in terms of the receivers to kind of match him up with, you have a few different options here. You could go to Gadsden, you could go to Haynes, or you could go to Pena. Or I guess if you want to go to Allen, he's the running back there. You might want to be looking at his rushing yards if you go to him. I'm kind of favoring these 3, and Pena is the one I landed on based on market value specifically, but also a few things I've read. He seems like the guy that's got the biggest edge here. I think his line's at 62.5 is where we're getting him. Yep, 62.5. I think Gadsden's up at 76 or so, and Haynes is a little bit lower. In terms of projection models and everything I've kind of read, Pena seems like the sweet spot for me. I wouldn't mind going to Gadsden. I'd probably stay away from Hayes, but Pena, Gadsden kind of combo here with Kyle McCord looking pretty good for Syracuse tonight. So that game's at 7:30, plenty of time to get that in. Do want to show you the projection model. This is over at RotoWire, my favorite projection model. And you see 299.95. That's kind of where the market's at right now, but still a little bit over our 298.5 line over on PrizePicks. Now, I do want to point out the few receiving yards lines. In terms of the projection model, they're favoring the under on all these guys. I don't always agree with the projection model, but here is one instance that I'm not agreeing with it. But at the same time, I'm kind of comboing this. These guys are going to correlate pretty well together, so I don't mind going against it a little bit. 62.5 is the line. They're expecting 58.35. If you want to look at Gadsden here, he's way less. 76.5 is his line. They're projecting 59.47. Another kind of reason I'm rocking with Pena here. But Syracuse should be able to get a decent amount of yardage here. Should be a high-scoring game. And we've seen Kyle McCord go for 350 yards the first 2 weeks. I think he does it again here. In a game that they should control, but, an 8.5-point spread, they could find themselves down. Just means more passes for McCord. So really liking this combo. That's going to be the first one, and I'll show you the second one. Boom, should now be on the screen. Some editing magic there. And it's actually in the same game. Now, I don't know if I'd play these in the same slip just yet. I probably will end up putting a half unit on this 4-man exactly. But as of right now, I just have both these stacks, comboed up with some other plays. But I do like this side of the coin here as well. Start talking about game script. We talked about them potentially being down and having to pass a little bit more. They've been able to do it when they've been up games. They might be down, a touchdown or two, and see Daniels, passing down, charging down, 2-minute drill, whatever it might be. And Io Manor is his number one guy here. So we'll talk about the hit rates here. We'll jump into these guys, but it's a high point total game. 56.5 is the point total projection right now. So that should mean a lot of offense, a lot of yards for these two quarterbacks, and hopefully Pena and Io Manor are the two guys that benefit from it. So let's take a look at Daniels. I got his outlier page pulled up here so far. This year he's gone for 163 passing yards and then 221 passing yards. Talk about Syracuse passing yards allowed defense. This is taking into account the early stages of this year and last year. Obviously, college can change over a lot, but 83rd ranked, middle of the pack, not looking too much into that. What I am looking into, again, I had the points total up here before. A lot of offense should equal a lot of yards. And the real factor, the real reason I'm going to this one specifically is because of the projection model. So you going over to here, you look up Ashton over on the projection model here, and they're projecting for 244 passing yards on a 214.5 line. That's a huge gap. So the projection model is liking that. I'm kind of riding with the projection model on this one. And while I'm over here, they like Io Manor, and he's the number one receiver, 58.5 yards we're getting him at. 73.21 is the projection model there. So I like the combo. Projection model kind of led me to it. But then you start thinking about the game, how many points are going to be put up. That's going to equal yardage, like I've said 5 times now. But yeah, they should be a good combo. In terms of market value, I've had that pulled up. Daniels right here, not getting anything crazy in terms of market value, right around the same line. 214.5, looks like Underdog's a little bit below. Actually, Betr's a little bit below as well, but a lot of other places around 214. In terms of market value, I guess this play actually isn't amazing. You know, we're losing a yard or two over on PrizePicks. You could get this maybe better better on Betr, actually. But for Io Manor, we are getting a really good line. I got to switch this to receiving yards. And we're getting a really good line over here, so I don't mind, you know, paying a yard up for Daniel's passing yards line, where we're getting 58.5. Other people got this at 63.5, 61.5, 60.5. So we are getting a pretty good price on PrizePicks for Io Manor. So that's going to be the 4 plays for college football. I have a few other ones. I think I might keep them Discord exclusive, give you guys some MLB plays now, because I am liking a few of those really a lot. Yeah, this is the 4-man. If you want to throw this as a 4-man, I don't mind it. I'm also going to be running these out to these guys with some other plays, and then these 2 guys with some other plays. Also really want to mention Io Manor here. If you want to go to longest reception at 24.5, he's got a few highlights, and he's gone over this, I think, in like 7 or 8 of the last 10 games dating back to last year, and both games so far this year. I don't mind the longest reception at 24.5. I think he's hit this in 1 game and missed it 1 game in terms of the receiving yards. I do like this one because of the market value, but if you want to go to longest reception, I don't mind that either. So that's going to be the college football. Let's move into some MLB, because this is already at 12 minutes, and quickly run through some plays over there. Okay, so we're going to quickly go through some baseball plays here, starting off with Joe Musgrove. Now, he is going up against the White Sox. This one could totally bite me in the butt, but 37.0 for his fantasy score just seems way too high in terms of market value, in terms of the projections, in terms of what the White Sox have been doing a little bit more recently. So let's take a look at what he has been doing, Musgrove and then the White Sox. So 2024, he's gone under this in 71% of games. He does have a history dating back to last year of kind of ending the season pretty solidly, which is what, again, he did last year. And we've seen him do that a couple games more recently here. Now, he's never put together 2 good games in a row this entire year. He's never gone over this fantasy score twice in a row, and he did go over it last time. So in terms of patterns, this one's looking pretty good. Then you look at the history against, not a ton of history here, but a couple at bats for some of these guys. They all have at least 1 hit. They're all batting averages in the green. So 2 for 2 for Nicky Lopez, 1 for 2 here, 1 for 2 here. Looks like 1 for 5 here, but still better than Vargas's normal at bat batting percentage. So a lot of good things looking good here. And then in terms of like the numbers for the White Sox, you go look at here. They're dead last in terms of batting average for the whole season. Last 30 days, though, that's ranked 19th. A lot of teams have fallen off. That's probably because of that. But you do see a pretty good jump. 2.22 batting average up to 2.36 over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. And then in terms of K percentage, is actually even a better jump. For the whole year, they were ranked 20th, it looks like, in terms of K percentage, so striking out in the bottom third of the league. Now they're ranked 13th, so kind of in the top half of the league in terms of K percentage. So they are looking a little bit better. Musgrove's at 37.0 looks a little bit too high. And just taking a look at the market value you see right here, very green in terms of DG Fantasy's projection model here. And that's because DraftKings says it's at 33.1. Caesar's at 33.1, and then Bovada at 32.8. That's pretty much in line with where RotoWire is at, which is at 31.72. So I'm going off the numbers for this one. Yes, it is going up against a bad team. He could cook them, but in terms of market value and everything else, this Musgrove line looks a little bit too high at 37. So I'm taking the under for that one. And then last but not least here, going to Yordan Alvarez over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. My last 5 Warriors, not going to like this play at all, but if you just go off the last 5 games and know their data points, you're going to be probably losing more than you win here. So not looking great in the last 5 games, not looking great for the entire year. If you want to look at 2024, 44% of the time he's gone over this, meaning he goes under more than over. But I really like the head-to-head matchup here, and he's going up against Tyler Anderson, which not only does he have a good history against, the entire Astros team has a pretty good history against. So you see, he's a left-handed pitcher. You see a lot of green, a lot of history, not just 2 at-bats, not just 3 at-bats. Some of these guys at 23 at-bats, 391 for Altuve. Bregman up at 294, 2 home runs, and 17 at-bats. Let's go find Alvarez, 17 at-bats, 412 batting average, 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. Awesome history against this pitcher. That's what I'm really looking at. In terms of the games that he's pitched this year, Tyler Anderson's pitched this against this team twice already this year. This was one of them on June 8th. He had 30 fantasy points in that game. And then back on September 14th, when Tyler Anderson pitched, he had 18 fantasy points. So I'm rolling the dice here with Alvarez. I really like the history, not only for Alvarez specifically, which is awesome, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 412 batting average against Anderson, but the entire Astros team. If there's more people on base, there's more opportunity for Alvarez to get an RBI, whether it's a sacrifice fly or whatever it might be. And it's a more opportunity for him to get batted in. That's runs. That's just more fantasy points. So really like an Alvarez's matchup. That's why I'm going to it. If you want to look into the not projection models, market value here, there's only one data point from BetMGM. They're up at 8.2 though, so that's awesome to see. And then in terms of our projection model over on RotoWire, they're loving this too. They're saying 10.01 on a 7.5 line. So two fantasy scores that I'm really seeing are too low for Alvarez's sake and too high for Musgrove's sake. And yeah, that's going to be the baseball plays for the day. So if you made it this far in the video, definitely go ahead and leave it a like. We talked about 6 plays over on PrizePicks. If you just skipped to the end and saw the 2 baseball plays, we had already talked about some college football plays. I think 4 of them, 2 stacks in the Syracuse and Stanford game. So definitely go back if you just skipped to the end. But if you made it all the way through, definitely leave the video a like, comment something down below. Just lets me know that you got here and enjoyed it. And also tells YouTube to, hey, push this video out a little bit more. And then subscribe if you are new. There's a bunch of links in the description down below. I talked about at the beginning of this video. It's not just PrizePicks. We're going to be betting on other stuff. Sometimes there's going to be discounts we want to take advantage of. You want to be on as many platforms as possible. You have all the links down there in the description. Use my code. I really appreciate that. And if you use my code, you're going to get a free month of my Discord. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the free part of the Discord. Say, hey, use your code. Can I get in the premium? And I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can, usually within a few hours. But that's going to do it. Longer video, but wanted to get you guys a ton of different action going today. Some MLB, some college football. Tomorrow we got more college football. I'll still be in a state where I can do college, so we'll have a video on that. And then Sunday we have obviously football, NFL, but we also have WNBA playoffs, which I'm going to try to go pretty heavy on because I want to watch some of those games. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you tomorrow for some college football. Got a huge slate there. And yeah, that's going to do it. Peace out.